So, from reality's point of view, in the sense of waking us up, my sense is that it will use whatever it can, and it will use all these different aspects of our own lives and also what's happening collectively in order to be able to ring this bell that says, wake up, wake up, folks." And are we listening? And I feel like it's starting to happen because as pain is evoked, it breaks us out of our complacency. And it's because we're emotionally affected. It's not just a mental kind of, if one has been sort of protected about the issues of what's going on in the world, you know, off and on, that is sort of a mental kind of construct of that's happening over there and keep my little life going, right? As best as one can, because life is challenging enough in one's own personal world. But now we have this big shakeup. And I live in the States, and we're having a giant shakeup that's being played out, as you all know, in Minneapolis, and and just in terms of keeping this video current as to what's happening at any given time, there is so much happening all over the globe, wherever you may be, that may is perhaps going to come and knock one out of one's own sleepiness, being asleep. And that's the opposite of being awake. And so life will use whatever it can. It will use things that are happening very detailed personally, some, losses, right? And health concerns and issues that will wake one up in the moment. And here we are on a larger scale being woken up and saying, this is not working. The way that we're sleepwalking in denial of how separation is being played out. Now, of course, this is language not everybody's going to be using, of course, right? But we can all tell that there is a huge imbalance taking place with the authoritarianism rising up, trying to corral us and keep us control the general population. There is a huge inequality taking place monetarily, right? Greed that is just running rampant. And then we also have this emerging and growing looming threat of AI, that of what could happen with AI, and further bring us into um, believing and getting lost in Maya, in the dream, not being able to tell anymore what's real. It's so the opposite of the spiritual calling, is going within and discovering for oneself what's true, and have that then start to live and be able to be tested out in life and be able to see for oneself what is good and what is seems true, what seems to have a sort of developing a moral compass, I suppose, for yourself, right? And be able to see where the moral compass is off on the collective. And with governments saying you're not seeing what you see, this is really, sort of, well, actually gaslighting in a major way. And people are rising up saying, we call you bullshit. We call bullshit. We see what we see, and I had mentioned in a previous video about, what George Orwell had said, and I think it was in 1984, about how you will not, you'll be told that you're not seeing what you see. You will be told you're not, your senses cannot be trusted. So it's more important than ever to be able to have a rootedness in equanimity, a rootedness in being able to be honest with yourself about what you know to be true. It doesn't have to be the great capital T, truth. That's always helpful, but at least what you know to be relatively true, and to not deny your own knowing. and have that filter into other areas, all areas of your life. Stop denying what you know to be true. What's good for you, what's not good for you, who's good for you, people, situations, work, all that, and not to become like hyper vigilant, but just to be an honest human being and be a part of nature to such a degree, to at least enough to know yourself as one with nature, as a natural being, that you are able to discern as a human being, as an animal mixed in, we are, um, what's what's essentially true, and feel it in your gut, feel it emotionally too, not just mentally, abstractly, but tune in on a sensorily, what is true. Because what is taking place is this wake-up call on the outside, on the collective level that we're having. If you're able to protect yourself from this, then fine, this video is not for you. And I'm not making it wrong at all. Everyone is doing what you're meant to do, hopefully. But if you sense that you've been a bit of an ostrich, about what's true in general, and sort of hiding out in denial, this is the wake-up call of the world. And the world is also, the world is, we're talking about human being created world, okay? But we also have the natural world that is also wanting to wake us up and for us to come to an honest reckoning that the way that we're functioning and treating one another and treating Earth and all the creatures is not sustainable. Climate and change and poisoning Earth and rivers and ocean with plastics, and I mean, it's just it's you can't keep up. You can't keep up with all the places that we are we're being ostriches, the effect of being unconscious and living out separation and for self-forgetting and forgetting that we're one with nature, one as nature, that it's just like popping up everywhere, just like the earthquakes and the volcanoes. Pop, pop, pop. You can't hide out any longer. That's what's happened. We cannot pretend anything this away anymore. Pretend that it's just about Republicans and Democrats here in the US. This is a deep, 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 deep disturbed place of denial, and where self-forgetting has caused huge, huge division and pain and suffering as a result. The sun over here. So what is this video about? That, as painful as it all is, and how much suffering there really is as a result of our own unconscious, and how deeply unfair it can be, how certain people and places on the earth are suffering more because of our collective denial. As painful as all that is, there is something kind of intelligent in the sense that you cannot pretend and deny what is here forever. There's gonna be it's gonna reach a threshold of that's it. Time's up. And it's not out of cruelty or God isn't good or whatever it is. It's about truth. Truth doesn't lie to itself. It's like enough being a child, enough being an adolescent acting out. Now you're adults. For a long time now, Grace has been trying to keep things that sort of, not really at bay. We've had plenty of suffering around the planet for centuries, and at the expense of innocent people, right? Taking the brunt of wars and the imperialism and all that's taken place, and this us and them thing and extracting resources and all that. But at some point, it's going to come after the people who are in greatest denial, not the ones that are most at fault, but just like everyone gets to at some point more and more, the tipping point, see that this is not sustainable. And so we're emotionally involved, which is a breakdown, which is better than just being distant and in a castle in the mind, It's like being touched, being affected, and hopefully that will lead somewhere, and in the meantime, those with a spiritual practice, this is the time to really pull out your practices, and to be able to find more inner equanimity, not to go into the transcendent to hide out and protect yourself, but in order to be able to have a bridge into life so that what you've opened to and are opening to within of knowing what we are in truth, that we are spirit and this form is divine as well, that one can actually come out and be a resource, be a support, and not get lost in this dream and go into deep fear, you know, and sort of entrench the separation, and instead try to find some solutions, at least solutions coming from life itself. Let life reveal what wants to happen, not just all up here. What are the solutions? What are the solutions? Um, sorry about the sun. Yeah, sorry, sun. Illuminate the situation. This is not a bad time to make prayers, but don't put it outside of yourself, Don't put what's happening outside of yourself. This is a time for an inner reckoning, but it's also a time of great grace that says, thank you. Thank you for being honest, for paying attention. Now let's get down to work inside, work of adjusting to what's been in denial. Maybe even work on the outside, like what is life asking of you? What does it want from your voice to speak? Action. What is it asking of you? What is life asking of you? Not what is your fear asking of you, and so on. And what is being a good citizen necessarily ask of you? I mean, it's nice to have collective goodwill, but what is life asking? Come from wholeness more and more. This is a breakdown to the degree it is because we have forgotten our wholeness, our oneness with each other and with all life, with Mother Earth, everything. It's broken down to the point where this is how division is acting out, lost, afraid, scared, and in painfully, painfully subjugating others as if forgetting. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't have so much more than you need. You wouldn't feel like you deserve it, the entitlement. You wouldn't be mistreating people, saying, you know, go and suffer over there. It doesn't touch me. That is division. We know that. So care and let yourself be stirred, let yourself be touched and affected, emotionally impacted. Heart, let the heart be broken open, not just broken. Come together and have conversations and dialogues with like-minded people or just with people in general. How are you feeling these days? How are you doing? And then come and also touch in on your inner resource, on what's here, always here, saying this is whole and solid, your being. It's undivided. And what does it say? What does it want to say? How does it want to move through the heart, through the speech, through action? That's the invitation when things get so out of balance, is balance is calling. That's just all this video is about. Balance is calling, and then the wake up bell is calling and saying, now can we listen? How about now? How about now? Take care of yourself in the midst of this, but don't turn into an ostrich, I hope, hiding out. and being stuck in a fear loop. Tap into what this time is calling for. The I guess opportunity. Crisis brings opportunity. Isn't that in the I Ching? Crisis and opportunity is one of the I Chings. They have two sides of one I Ching. Crisis, opportunity, which doesn't discount the suffering. It includes it. That's a wake-up call is suffering. All right. Take good care of yourself. And remember what you are, what we are. Remember our connection, what connects us.